Welcome to today's tips and tricks. Today I want to talk to you about flower beds, especially the ones that people put around the front of their house, not around the trees. Now, at least here in Texas, in San Antonio area, we have a lot of clay. And well, when clay gets wet, it expands, and when it dries out, it shrinks. And a lot of people will put these flower beds around their house, but they don't put weep holes. So what we typically find is houses that don't put the weep holes in, they tend to have foundation issues at the front point of their house because that water has nowhere to go. So it makes the clay swell unusually more compared to the surrounding clay because all that moisture is there. So if you plan on putting a flower planter in the front of your house, I highly recommend you make sure that there's weep holes there so water can get out. I really recommend that you don't do it. Do it around the trees and stuff like that. If you go around, you'll see that most of these planters, after about 6 months or a year, all that concrete's starting to crack. Why is it cracking? Because the swell of the clay and the shrinking of the clay and that mortar that's in between the stones, it's cracking because it can't handle that stress. All kinds of ways to make the front of your house look very decorative without even doing the front stoned or bricked flower planters as well. So, and it usually will save you money too. And you'll still get the same effect that you're trying to get, but without the planters. So I'm going to go around and show you a couple of planters that I'm talking about that aren't weep holed, at least that I can see, so you can kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about. And you can see the differences. To this house, there's no weep holes present in that flower planter, so that front of that house is going to start having a lot of foundation issues. Here's another house that the planters don't have weep holes, and they're going to have a lot of issues at the front of that house. Now that house, they had a sidewalk in front of it to give it some separation from the foundation of the house, which is good, so they may not have as many issues with the house. But I guarantee you they're going to start having problems with that sidewalk in a couple years because that moisture is going to start lifting it and dropping it. You're going to start seeing it crack a lot. Here's another one that doesn't have weep holes, and you can already see it starting to crack. That one was starting to crack already around the tree because they don't have weep holes. Now this one, it's not cemented all the way around, so they may not have issues because they didn't cement all the way around. It looks like the left side at least isn't cemented in. Now the right side is, so they may start seeing foundation issues right there at that front corner. I really hope that this video helps you kind of see what I'm talking about with these front flower planters and kind of get an idea of where you're probably going to see some foundation issues, especially if you're here in the south central part of Texas where we're just on a bunch of clay. I really recommend that you don't put flower planters up at all. But if you do, tell that contractor to make sure they put weep holes in there, because they're just going to come in and do their business and be out. They aren't thinking about the future. They're thinking about getting paid and putting up their product. So if you have front flower planters and you don't have weep holes, here's the easiest way to fix it. Go to Lowe's or Home Depot, your local hardware store, get a masonry drill bit, and periodically drill holes towards the bottom of the masonry in between the rocks. Doesn't have to be every one, so every 2 or 3 feet, just have something to where water can seep out and not pool. These are weep holes. This is what I'm talking about, making sure that your flower beds have. Okay? They allow water to come out and seep out this way, so it's not pulling behind the stone. Let me know in the comments if you've had any issues or know anybody that's had any issues. I've seen several houses that have had these issues, and I've talked to foundation companies and about it, and they've all told me that they will never put flower planters in the front of their house, and if they do, they're making sure that they're putting some kind of weeping system in there so they don't have foundation issues. Now, if you like this video and you found it useful, do me a favor, it'll really help me out. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and then you can see all my cool content that comes out.